Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back once again. G8's back up on the hoist. Just changing some stuff around with it. Just thought I'd make a quick video because there is quite a bit of stuff that actually changed with the car. I wouldn't say quite a bit, but you know, enough to make a video anyways. So what we're doing right now is we are redoing this Elky line. It's going to be one solid line all the way to the back, all the way to the front. Right now it's two separate lines. It comes along here, and you can see it's got like a little thread here. And this way it's just going to be all one line, and it's all going to be stainless too. So because when we first were doing the pre-run of this kit, we were testing out some new stuff, and there was like a new synthetic line that we tried. And it turns out it had a bad reaction with the meth that we were using, and it actually ended up like swelling. So obviously that's not good. It showed like crazy amount of flow, but it would also make the hose soft. So I actually blew a line in the back. I remember, I don't know if you guys remember, I made a video on that and how it pretty much crystallized that Lexand thing that I made in the back to show off the sway bar and the Z01 rear diff in the back. So now we're going to do a complete stainless braided line all the way to the back. I haven't been using meth, and it's still a crazy amount of power, but I'm just going to use it for safety on those high boost kind of applications. So another thing that changed is I actually went ahead and I got a cold case radiator. I just finished installing it. To give you my opinion on it, it's good for the price. Let's put it that way. I got a deal on this off of Jags. It was like a $30 off coupon, plus it was $349, which was $50 less than the actual cold case site. So in total, it only ended up costing me 400 Canadian, or 392 or something like that. So it was actually a really good deal. I thought I pulled the trigger on it because it was such a good deal. And once I get this thing all set up for the track, it's going to be nice to have that aluminum radiator and not worrying about, they have a common problem where the plastic breaks here, and I just didn't want to go through that. So another thing that I finally got in after months of waiting is the turbo guard. It looks amazing. Yeah, it's a pretty cool piece. It was a little bit of a kind of a pain to put on, but because I wanted the turbo guard obviously to show up this way. So to get your hand in there and stuff, it was a little bit of a pain. And definitely if you do this turbo kit, put that on first before you put the turbo in. Makes it a lot easier. Another thing that I was doing was, I don't know if you can see it there, is I wrapped, same stuff as this stuff. I just wrapped the wastegate tube just from basically, well, right there, which is where it gets closest to the fender liner, all the way down to the bottom. It's probably not necessary, but you know me, I like to overbuild things. So just in case at the track, if it gets super hot, like I drove this car for almost 2 years now without it, and I haven't had a problem. So I don't know. I guess you could say I'm just being overly cautious. Other than that, that's pretty much that is going on right now. We are also changing to a different nozzle. So now that the check valve is going to actually be part of the nozzle instead of being all the way in there, because one of the things that I was having when the Elky engaged is that it would take a second to fill up this line that I showed you, which started there and went all the way into here. So it wasn't a big deal. Like, it just kind of lean spiked to probably about 12.5 air fuel, which is, if I see that, I let off. So it's not enough to really damage it, especially at that lower RPM. Like, it was made to come on at about 6 pounds of boost. So it would come on right around about, I'd say, 3,800 RPM. And then you just get that little bit of a spike. But regardless, Kevin said, he's like, you know what, if that bugs you, then we're going to just make one solid line, and we're going to actually put the check valve here instead of over there. Another thing that I was planning to do is, here, I think I actually put it back in the car. Just bear with me for a second. So here it is here. It's this white line offset bushing kit. So I'll show you this. I was actually, because in order to run a square setup for the track, it is kind of a pain on these cars because of the clearance that you have between the spring and the actual tire or rim. So Whiteline makes a kit that actually offsets that. So you can actually get more camber or less, I think they said, but I'd want more because I pretty much, even with Petter's supercar coils with the CTSV front rims, I got about close to 2 degrees negative with camber. Now that's pretty damn close though. Like it's I haven't had any problems with it because I have used these rims on the these tires on the track and stuff like that, and I didn't have any rubbing issues. But it is pretty close. It's like millimeters from actually touching the spring. So it also limits how wide you can go on a rim because the CTSV CTSV is I believe it's a 9.5 wide rim in the back, and I think a 9 in the front wide rim, or 8.5. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. But I want to run a 10-inch wide rim, 18. I'm going to go to 18s because just the tire choices are better and it's cheaper. I want to run 18s, 295 front, 295 on the rear. So the biggest problem with that is fitting that 10-inch wide tire on the front. So Whiteline makes a kit, and you can see right here, see how it's offset just that little bit? So this will actually, when you're looking, well, you won't see it here, but because this cap would be covering it. But basically, it moves the shock inward. Maybe, I don't know. I'd say about a half an inch or two, maybe that. I think. So, you know, tilting this tire in another half inch, I can actually bring it back to negative 2 degrees camber, and then maybe get that extra. Depending on the offset I go, I think I'm going to go plus 35 or 37, somewhere in there. Like the thing is I want to run as much positive offset as I can that the front suspension will allow, because that means I can run. I'll have even more of a safer profile or offset in the rear, because on these things, a lot of guys know, the rear likes a lot of positive offset and pushing that tire in towards the front, other than the actual fender. I am going to get my fenders rolled. Obviously, once that ever happens, probably next year. So if I can get that extra half inch or so on the inside, I can run that 10-inch tire and then maybe get away with plus 37 or something maybe. I'll do my calculations. I'll let you guys know once I get it out. I'm going to go with Forge Stars, I believe, the 18-inch, because it's the only ones that will fit my 6-pot CTSV brakes. So it's a pretty cool kit. It was on sale I got this one off of for all the Canadian guys, off tdotperformance.ca. It was the best thing. They had 10% off or something like that. But it could actually potentially change what offset you can run in the front. Yeah, that's it, guys. Car's still running strong. You know, I'm just taking stuff apart when I don't need to. I'll be handling some other stuff later on. The HSV under tray will be coming up. I have it in my garage. I was lucky enough that I got it, and I'm going to show you guys what it's like to put that on. It basically makes the whole underneath of the car flat bottom. So once I get that all set up, I'll show you guys what it looks like. It is a little bit finicky in the back because of the actual fuel tank straps. You have to weld kind of like I don't know, a bolt or something on it to bolt up the rear under tray. So yeah, that's it today, guys. Hopefully you guys are having a good weekend or week or whatever, and we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks. Bye.